What is up, everybody? This is Mason with the Next Guy Up podcast. I got Tinsley here. How's it going, Tins?
I'm great. Doing great.
And I got Zach here. He is hyped up and ready to go. How's it going, Zach?
What is up? We are ready.
Zacharoni, ready for it.
Locked in.
Locked in. Let's start out with this real quick. I'm bringing the energy. I yell into my mic as it was just pointed out. I'm ready to go. We're talking about week 0 football.
Yep.
We're gonna do some fantasy football talk.
What do we call
it? We should just call it fantasy football talk, right, guys? What are we calling that?
Wow, super cool name.
I feel like it needs it needs a nickname. It needs something to kind of set it apart. Like maybe it's like its own country on its own land. Maybe like Fantasyland.
Okay, we'll workshop it. We'll put a pin in it.
Workshopped. It's done.
it's done. And then we also have a very special. We've never said anything about anything being special on this podcast.
True.
A special bracket. It is the Next Guy Up meat bracket. It is our signature meat. Next Guy Up. We got chips. We got our ice cream. What else do we have? We got candy?
We have not done candy yet.
Not done candy. Okay.
We did chips, ice cream,
cereal.
Those are the 3 we've done so far.
So this is a big episode. This is a big day for us.
We're the official meat of the pod.
Our official meat. We're getting our official meat out there.
I don't know how to follow up with that, so I'm ready to go. We excited. How many meats do we have to choose from?
At least 3.
16 meats.
16 meats. So we got all the meats for you.
Let me just get ahead. I'm just gonna get ahead of something on this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Another podcast on an unnamed podcast network decided to air the same bracket. After we announced this on Monday's episode, go back, check the tape. We got the receipts.
Did do this.
We announced on Monday because at the end of the episode, so we recorded that on Sunday, and I said we are doing a meat bracket next week, on Friday's episode, because we were hyping it up. We were excited about it. We get up on Monday morning and see that an unnamed podcast on another unnamed podcast network did a very, very similar bracket. I would just like to say ahead of time, this is a unique idea. Go check the receipts. Check them. If anything, they copied us.
This isn't the first time this has happened where we've woken up Monday morning and this certain unnamed podcast on an unnamed network has something very similar to what we have already done.
True.
And we record before they do.
So what do we do about this?
I say we podcast war. They might have endless resources, but
we have unlimited creativity.
And we have nothing to lose. What are they going to do?
We have nothing.
Facts.
They can strike us down. We'll just come right back.
In this podcast, we would start a new one tomorrow.
Next Guy Up 2.0. I have an endless amount of names.
Yeah, we have plenty of names we could lean back on for sure.
Do we just stick with Next Guy Up 2.0, or do we actually find a new name?
Probably the next. No,
we just keep it going.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. So should we start out with some college football? So can I ask you all this, and then we'll proceed?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? Okay. Yeah, you're right. Let's just go ahead and end the podcast right here, or do not proceed. Okay. So why is there a week 0? And if there's going to be a week 0, can we not make it bigger than it is? Because I think everybody's ready for college football. We're all wanting this.
Mason, you want less football? Is that your take?
No, my take is I want more. I want it to be better.
It's like a preseason. What do you want? It's literally the preseason.
It's not a preseason. Those are real games that are happening.
All right,
they are not real. First of all, preseason games are not real games. What are we talking about?
No, I'm saying week 0 is real games.
Are they?
Week 0? Yes, those are real games that count.
I mean, they are, but there's one real game, maybe.
But they count for all of them. It's not like it doesn't count for their record.
Sure. It's warm up for the viewers.
Go ahead, Tins. What were you gonna say?
I probably said this last year or something along these lines, but guys like Mason out here complaining about any amount of football we get. What do you be thankful that we have a week 0. Who cares what it is and who's playing? Be happy that we're back. We're back. It's time to celebrate. You don't know how many more football. You don't know how many more football seasons you have. So cherish this week 0. Cherish Florida State versus Georgia Tech.
Amen.
Okay, real quick, I can also run back the tape because I'm pretty sure both of you complained about week 0 because I remember us complaining about Notre Dame blowing out Air Force, and the other games was like it was another Hawaii game. You did not stay up till 10:30, 11 o'clock unless you had money on it. I said unless you had money on it to watch Hawaii.
Money on Hawaii. Come on,
it might have been.
You always got Hawaii at night to get
you. Think about money on Lee State, Tarleton State.
Nobody's watching it. That's what I'm saying. You're not going to watch it. Tell me. Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, here's the thing.
I'm not complaining. I just wanted more games on week 0 that were better than what we're having. This was like the take because you're about to break these down, and you're not going to break down New Mexico and whoever SMU. You're going to talk about this
That's
one
a good game. SMU's a good team.
SMU's a good team.
Well, I'm just saying. Why don't we have
New Mexico could compete in the Mountain West this year.
I don't think any of them are single-digit spreads. I don't know. They're not playing each other. They're playing different teams. They're playing like Atlantic South something another.
Yes, it's internet just froze you because your take was so bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, no,
it's tough. Even the internet doesn't want to hear you.
They are not even single-digit games. They're blowout games across the board. They're not. I'm pretty sure they're double-digit spreads. Yes, they are.
10.5 for Florida State.
I said single-digit.
You said blowout. 10.5 is not a blowout.
I said single-digit, and you said falls 10.5.
You said 10.5 blowout games. And you just dropped
Listen.
Out. That's what he did.
We're all freezing here. Yeah, go ahead.
That's a you problem.
So, listen, here's
I don't know why they're ganging up on me. Everybody else would agree. I want better games is all I was saying. I'm not saying that these are not. Just give me more and give me better games.
I don't need better. Listen, week 1.
Why do we need 4 games in week 0? Just make it a full week.
There's 6 games.
Oh, sorry.
So
we're counting that Hawaii game.
Hawaii is not playing.
Yes, they are.
Saturday, 11 o'clock. 39 points favorites.
Hawaii is?
Yes.
Yeah, at home against Delaware State.
Why is that not on my...
Because they don't count it as a real game. That's why.
Oh, it's a real game. You can bet on it.
Mason is very animated about this for some reason.
So, no, here's my whole... What did you pull up on ESPN? It says week 1. They don't even acknowledge this as a week 0. So, it's literally week 1.
So why are you mad?
Because I'm like, why don't we just go ahead and... So, you're telling me right now you're going to watch Montana State and New Mexico because I want the receipts. I want pictures of you on your couch watching that at 3 p.m. and on FS1 if anybody has that channel.
Okay, here's the argument.
That's Mason. a very big channel.
What would you be doing on Saturday if not for week 0?
What have you been doing this whole time? Just something else.
Like how is it negatively affecting your life for there to be week 0?
I just wish there was more games.
How are having these garbage games, but the alternative is no games?
No, the alternative is more games, is what I'm saying. More better games. Like, give me SEC games.
Well, we can't just add in an entire week. That's the whole point of week 0 is that you're not adding a week to the season. You're just having select teams take a week out of their season to play it early to have like a primer for NCAA.
Okay, so explain to me.
More games in week 0, then it would be less games in the actual regular season.
Do they play a legit extra game, or when do they make up that?
No, they play one less game later on.
Also,
every other team just plays a full
This is good for them because they get a sole like this is literally no one else is doing anything but watching college football.
Exactly.
Because they're so excited. No, I'm saying give me more games. That's what I'm saying.
Week 1 will be the same idea next week.
So just add it. Just add another week 1.
You're wanting to add a game to the college schedule?
Yeah, go for it. They're already getting paid now. There's literal barcodes on people's helmets now.
This guy. This is what When did Robert get on the podcast?
Is the worst. The NFL guys talking over here. What? Look,
NFL, I don't know what's mad about it anymore. I don't know.
NFL plays games on Monday nights, Thursday nights.
That's right.
They play games in London. They play games
Black Friday,
Sunday morning. They play Christmas games. It's no one complains and is like, we should have more games on Thursday nights because then they're more spread out from Sunday. What if we played 6 games Thursday night and more people would watch it instead of Sunday?
I just want a game every single night.
You would give me one on Wednesday the whole week.
You remember that was a time when COVID was going on. We got football on Tuesdays and Wednesday nights.
I mean, week 0 didn't used to be a thing, so they're just spreading out a few just to kind of throw a bone to the college football guys. Say, here's some games that you normally wouldn't care about, but because you haven't had football and this is the first football you get, you're all going to watch it.
Okay, my last thing for this, and then I'll stop talking. My last thing. Anybody that's listening to this, I think would agree. I don't have a bad. I'm just saying I want better games on week 0. I wasn't complaining too much about. That's all I was saying. Like, I don't know why y'all are jumping down my throat about this.
I don't understand the take.
I don't understand what you're mad about. Have you seen the week 1 slate that you're saying is so action packed? The best game we have on week 1 is Miami at Florida, which
there's some good games week 1.
Penn State, and West Virginia. Like, I just counted.
Texas A&M, Notre Dame, right?
Yeah, there's only
USC.
There's only like 6 games that are a single digit spread from the whole week.
Is LSU USC next week?
I only made it to 5:00. A lot of games.
LSU USC plays. Texas A&M Notre Dame plays. When does Michigan Georgia? Is that week 2?
Yeah, because it's Michigan Fresno State.
There actually are a couple of pretty good. There's a couple of pretty good SEC games.
Thank you, Zach.
Week 1.
Too bad they can't have any of those on week 0. That's all I was saying. Just move 1 or 2 of those to week 0.
Okay. But then what games are you gonna have week 1?
I didn't say all of them. You said there's like 5 or 6 of them. Move 1 of them.
They all have their own time slot.
Don't give me one that's got like Notre Dame versus Air Force, or New Mexico versus Nevada, whatever that game is. I keep forgetting the other one. Mexico State and Montana State.
We gotta move on. I don't know.
Listen, go ahead and break it down. It's a great take. Go ahead.
There's only really one game that we will probably touch.
Exactly.
It's at noon.
Thank you for my point.
That's not your point. What are you talking about?
There's only one game that we'll touch because that's the only good game that's going on.
It's not a real week. It's the pre-week to the actual season that starts in week 1. If there were more good games, then it would no longer be week 0. It would just be week 1 then.
Okay. Go ahead.
I can't wait to hear Mason's takes on the preseason games this weekend.
Me neither. I hope he watched all of them. Okay, so Florida State, Georgia Tech. There's a lot of storylines going on with this one. This is at noon Eastern. The line is plus 10.5. Pretty competitive line, if you ask me. It's also in Ireland, so that's pretty sick, I guess. But this is really the first big game of our college football season, so it's pretty exciting, regardless of what Mason says. We have a couple storylines. First storyline, Florida State. Will they bounce back after their heartbreak last season? I think I'll be honest with you. I don't know a ton about Florida State. I know they have DJ Uiagalelei at quarterback.
So close. So close.
What did I say?
Not right.
Uiagalelei?
DJ Uiagalelei.
Uiagalelei. Oh, okay. Uiagalelei, who transferred in and is expected to be a big, big piece of this Florida State offense this year. Obviously replacing a quarterback who got injured last year, Jordan Davis. Is that right?
Travis Hunter. No, Travis. What was his name? He's the backup for the Jets now.
Jordan. It's Jordan something.
Is it Jordan Travis?
Jordan Travis. Were you
Why is this guy yelling again?
Jordan.
I'm trying to help you out.
Obviously. So here's my take on this game. I'm not going to break down the X's and O's here. I think Florida State's a much better team than Georgia Tech. I think traveling to Ireland and playing in the first game of the season, week 0, obviously before everyone else is playing, we're going to expect some rust in this game. We saw it last season in Notre Dame. A lot of people were hoping the Army was going to make that a close game in Notre Dame. It didn't really happen. I'm expecting a similar result in this one. I think the better team is going to shine. I think if Florida State can just keep the ball on the ground, they can get DJ Uiagalelei warmed up and get him going, and I think they cover the spread. This is not an official bet I'm giving out. If I had to guess, I think everyone's going to be rooting for a close game. We all want to see kind of an action-packed first game here, but this is not. If this was at Georgia Tech or something like that, you could consider it. On neutral site where there's not going to be a ton of fans, I think the better team is going to shine. I think Florida State is on the comeback tour this season. At least they're going to start off that way, trying to set the record straight from last season. And they have infinite bulletin board material. I think that they win this game pretty easily. That's my take.
Bulletin board material. Pretty good segment name right there.
True, very true.
Bulletin board material is being snubbed from the playoff as an undefeated team. That's ultimate bulletin board material.
This is probably the first and only time I'll be on Florida State all season.
You taking them spread?
Yeah, I think so. Georgia Tech's pretty bad. And they've been rebuilding for a couple of years now. But, DJ can get it done for this game just because he is a good running threat, and Florida State still has some solid running backs to put out there. But when it comes to the rest of the ACC, my first feature Friday was Miami, but I am pretty low on Florida State just because I saw what DJ did at Oregon State last year. I was pretty high on DJ going into the year. I thought he kind of got ran out of Clemson unfairly. And I was very wrong because he stunk at Oregon State. Towards the end of the year, he was getting subbed out on passing downs for a true freshman quarterback just because he couldn't get it done. So I am all over the downfall of Florida State.
Wow. More bulletin board material.
Add me to the list. When they go undefeated this year and DJ wins the Heisman, I expect to be on the hater compilation video.
Yeah, they're going to take this clip and post it in their facility probably.
That's fine.
You're going to be on their screen for the whole season every day.
That's fine. You know what? If I can help them just a little bit, then that's cool too.
I think that's it. I think this is just a fun week to kind of get back in the groove of things. This week the weather's been a little bit cooler. It's feeling like fall outside.
Yeah, I don't appreciate that so far.
Came a little early.
I appreciate it. But getting, feeling good, ready for football.
It's like 50 degrees when I went into work this morning. I did not like that. Had to get a hoodie.
It was chilly this morning. Next week, there are some big games throughout the week as well. So you don't have to wait all the way to Saturday to week 1 to start.
Thursday.
Yeah. So I think next week's going to be a fun week.
Agreed. Should be. It's fun. It's finally here. I like that college football gets a little bit of time to themselves to kick off the season before NFL starts.
Yeah.
It's good. I'm more of an NFL guy, but I've gotten more into college the last couple of years, and it's good to get your feet wet. Get your eyeballs trained to watching multiple screens and watching football. Yeah. We got to get back to normal out here, so it's good. That's why we need this week 0. That's why I need to see Hawaii running the score up on Delaware State.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's it. That's your week 0 preview.
Bang bang.
Love it.
Big takeaway is if it's up to Mason, week 0 would be canceled.
More games, better games.
He says less football, the better. Let summer last a little bit longer.
You're trying to change what I said.
He wants one more week of just nothing to do on Saturday.
I hate having to watch football all day.
Give me an SEC game. That's what I was saying. And y'all are changing
we need that for week 1.
Okay.
There's no SEC games week 1, actually. Not SEC.
Week 2, sorry. Okay.
Mason, you know what time it is?
What time
it's time
is
to
it?
take us to the land.
Mason's Fantasy Land.
Are we sure that's what we want to go with?
Oh, we're sure.
Okay, the alternative is Mason's Fantasy Factory.
I don't know which one's worse.
Factory's much worse than land.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We can go with Fantasy Land then if we had to pick one or the other. Okay. So we're gonna do. We got green light and tread lightly players. So are we ready for this? I got one of each. I'm ready to break it down.
I'm ready.
We all excited? Okay.
I love it. Pumped.
Which one should we start with?
I'll let you all pick. Green light.
Okay.
Green means go.
All right. Green means go for Chris Olave. I had him on my team last year. The usage. Oh, Tinsley's making a face. Hear me out. Maybe I can convince you. The usage was definitely there last year for Chris Olave. He had 138 targets last season. That put him in the top 10 in targets. I had him, like I said, I had him on my team, so I remember this part for sure. He finished strong at the end of the season. From week 9 to the end, he was tied for wide receiver 12 in points per game with Puka Nacua, which got a lot of hype. So there's a little bit of similarities there, especially finishing the season. So I want to play a little game with everybody. Zach, you paying attention? Because this includes you.
Yes.
Okay. So here is the rest of the Saints receivers. And I want Zach to tell me if he knows any of these players. Any of them at all. Wide receivers. Okay, let's start with him? Yes, A.T. Perry.
No.
Just give me a Bub Means.
No.
Tinsley might have to help me with this name. Rashid Shaheed.
Rashid. Yeah, no, you pretty much said it.
Okay.
It's like his name's pretty much the same twice.
No.
Okay.
Rashid Shaheed.
I feel like I've heard of him.
I forget how to say his first name, but Equanimus St. Brown at St. Brown's brother.
Yeah.
No.
How about Cedric Wilson?
Yes.
Wow, big Cedric Wilson fan.
I don't know anything.
Mason Tipton, Kevin Austin,
no.
Shaquan Davis. Okay.
No.
Tight end Juwan Johnson.
No.
Okay. Cedric Wilson, by the way, is a 6-year veteran, used to play for the Dolphins. So no Michael Thomas there. I'm making my point. There's literally like no one for Derek Carr besides who we know, Kamara. Did we ever figure out how you pronounce his name officially?
Kamara.
Kamara. Why do I say that the other way? Alvin Kamara. Behind the backfield, he does actually throw to him a lot. But besides that, wide receiver wise, or even tight end, like there's nobody there except for Chris Olave. Thank you for playing the game, Zach. You win.
I win a prize.
You win a prize.
Suck at fantasy.
So not just for Zach, but anybody listening, I'm sure a lot of them would agree that they didn't know any of those players. Did you know any of them, Tins?
I knew Rashid Shaheed.
Yeah. Okay.
He's a good deep ball guy.
Yeah. So I feel like the usage is there. The talent is there. The team on the talent, right? Can we all agree on that? The Saints, the talent, we're a little unsure about. But if they're behind, what are they going to be doing? They're going to be passing the ball. So give me Chris Olave. Just keep him on your radar for the green light for this season. Tinsley, your concerns? Or did I just totally convince you? I changed your mind completely. Oh.
No.
That's okay. We can have disagreements. Yours is just wrong. Yeah.
That's fine. It's just his ADP. His ADP is so high. He's going towards the middle of the second round right now. He's up there with like a Devontae Adams. And I like a Cedric.
An aging so you would want him over Devontae, or you would want Devontae Adams over him? Aging Devontae Adams.
Derek Carr has shown that he is not great in a first year of a new offense. What is going on with the Saints? They have a brand new offensive coordinator who was not there last year. That he's behind the worst offensive line PFF graded in the NFL.
Okay.
Chris Olave is a deep ball guy. it's hard to throw the deep ball when you have less than 2 seconds to stand in the pocket and throw. So all of that put together with his 80. Now, if you told me Chris Olave was like a 4th or 5th round wide receiver, sure, I'd snipe him all day. But I think his ADP is pretty high. So it makes me just say I would rather go to a player, someone like Davante Adams, who has shown consistency no matter who he has at quarterback.
Gardner Minshew out there.
I mean,
did we not want to talk about his training video? By the way,
I've MVP. Seen a million. I saw a million of those when he was with the Jags. That was a pretty normal thing. I'm used to the Gardner Minshew, the rock and roll music with the sweet handlebar mustache and mullet. Like, he'll get you fired up until you see him play like 4 games. And then you're just like, oh yeah, he's a really good backup quarterback. He's got the Fitz magic about him where he's got like a 4-game run in him, and then you're like, okay.
But you feel more confident than with him, Davante Adams, him throwing to Davante Adams and Derek Carr right now? Wow. All right, let's see how that. Should we do some type of bet right now about who's it going to be a better fantasy, who has the most fantasy points through the season, Derek Carr or Gardner Minshew?
Or I mean, who says Gardner Minshew is going to start the whole year? Aiden O'Connell could just split starts.
It still doesn't make me any more confident in the quarterback play.
I'd rather, because they're essentially right next to each other in ADP. I'd rather have Davante Adams than I would Chris Olave, just because I don't trust Chris Olave's situation. And Gary Kubiak, who's the new offensive coordinator for the Saints, loves short passes, quick hitters, bubble screens, and throwing to the running back out of the backfield. That all sounds like Alvin Kamara to me.
Well, there we go. Okay. Zach, any takes?
Yeah, I've got a red light.
Oh, let's hear it. I'm so ready.
I just watched the video of the Colts guy who makes the songs before the games. The Bengals one is wild. He says, "Let's cook them and eat their stripes."
Yeah, I'm done with that guy. I'm done with him. He got his 2 seconds of fame. I'm done.
Put him on a watch list. He's trying to cook up the Tigers and eat their stripes.
Bengal Tigers are almost extinct animal.
What are we doing? Oh, it's funny. I respect the commitment. Wow.
Do we though?
Yeah, I mean, I respect it. It's good. It's medium content. It's getting worse though. Okay.
We ready for?
See, that was good, Mason. You thought I wasn't gonna help you with fantasy this year. I'm talking. I'm giving opinions.
He's giving opinions.
I stood up for my.
That's good. Stance. We don't have to agree.
I think 2 might be a little. It's all where you pick them, and here's the issue. I didn't bring up ADP or where to draft, just because it's different everywhere. Sleeper, ESPN, Yahoo, it's all different. So I feel like I couldn't have consistency unless a fantasy network wants to bring us up, and I will talk solely on ESPN where they have them ranked and things like that. I just didn't want to confuse everybody because we don't have like an exact, because I don't want somebody being like, oh, you told me this round and on ESPN they had him here and I went ahead, or I didn't take him, blah, 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 blah. And he got taken from me, or vice versa. Like I didn't want to have any confusion with where a player was taken. So there's that. But should we go on to the tread lightly? Okay. I think you're going to agree with me on this one. It's going to be running back committees. And I realize this is a little broad, but tread lightly on running back committees. I have a couple that I've actually thought of, or not just thought of, but like looked into. So we're going to start with our own Zach and I's running backs situation. No longer Derrick Henry, but we have the Tony Pollard situation with that. Oh, wow. Dead to him after all that Derrick Henry has done.
Early respect. Go win your championship, Derrick.
All right.
Just kidding.
So, here's the thing. Tony Pollard's there. We got Tyjae Spears. Everybody remembers. Tyjae Spears finished with 100 rushes and 52 receptions as a rookie with the Titans. And then you also have Tony Pollard come in there, which I had one of the worst bets. And I like to be transparent. I had his over on touchdowns. I think it was 6.5 or something like that, or 8.5. It was something. And he didn't even come close. And I remember trying to just keep up with him. And he had games where he was just like completely missing as a Cowboy. And maybe it was just like the offense, maybe it has a better fit here. But I'm worried about these two. What?
You just said I'm sorry. The Cowboys have one of the best offensive lines in the league and one of the top 3 offenses in the NFL.
But they solely ran. So hold on.
We're not going to blame Tony Pollard for being he's just not a great player.
I'm saying he might do better in a committee situation. He was like who was the backup there? I don't even remember exactly.
He was the receiving back all those years to Ezekiel Elliott. So is he the receiving back to Tyjae Spears, or is Tyjae Spears the receiving back?
Well, you tell me, because I just think right now it's going to be like a committee. Yeah, but it's going to be a committee between the two of them.
They take turns.
They're the same guy, just one of them has both his ACLs.
Okay, so that is true. So everybody, especially Tinsley, called me out on, we're not surprised that you're this type of fantasy, like you draft fantasy players like this. I draft a ton of running backs, and I'll look for running back situations that are not committees. So I try to literally, if they're going to ground and pound this like player literally the whole game, and it's mostly going to be him. And I look at players like that. So continuing the tread lightly, Titans running back, and a running back committee that we actually saw last year. So there's no predicting this one because we've seen it before. Tinsley, you want to guess? We've seen this running back committee already. So why would they not? Why would they change? Yeah,
Dolphins. Is that where you're headed?
Oh, that's a good one. I was actually going to get to that one. Pittsburgh Steelers. You got Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren there. Both, let me see. Last year, Harris totaled 284 touches while Warren finished 210. So you're literally talking about almost split carries between the two of them. The next one, and we don't even still know their quarterback yet. It's actually turned into it seemed like Russell Wilson was going to be the one. Now Tomlin's not even wanting to say who the starting quarterback is. The next one I have is actually the Green Bay Packers. They just brought in Josh Jacobs, and you have A.J. Dillon that just continues, even when Aaron Jones was there. Now Josh Jacobs was like the sole running back there, but if we think of the Matt LaFleur offense and how they've used the committee in the past, Tinsley, what do you think? You're giving me some looks.
Yeah,
they could use him like how the Raiders did, but I'm a little more worried than if he was still on the Raiders.
I don't know. I feel like they are going to use him more like a bell cow. The A.J. Dillon experience has not worked out. They even went and drafted
Marshawn Lloyd, which is what I was going to get to.
But he has been terrible in camp with ball security and just rookie struggles. So I just feel like they pay Josh Jacobs. I mean, A.J. Dillon could be like a touchdown vulture on the goal line.
Yeah, but that's what I'm worried about.
I don't feel like it's a true running back committee. I feel like it is just more they're gonna lead more on Josh Jacobs than they are the other guys.
This probably won't be split, but I could see it being like a 60-30-10 type of situation. So 60 going to Josh Jacobs, 30 going to A.J. Dillon, 10 going to... But A.J. Dillon had 178 carries last season. And Marshawn Lloyd got drafted in the 3rd round. So it's not like it's like a 6th or 7th round running back. It's a 3rd round. So we'll see what happens there. And then the last one that I had was the team that Tinsley brought up. That would be the Dolphins. What was the hardest to predict anytime touchdown wise for me was when I wanted to just pick a anytime touchdown for a Dolphins running back, and I always pick the wrong one. You have Achane there. You have Marshawn. We have Raheem Mostert. Sorry, and then you also have. I just went blank on the last. The running back for the UT Vols.
The rookie that they drafted, Jalen Wright.
Jalen Wright. Thank you. Am I missing somebody? No,
they had a vet in there last year, but he's not. It's somebody who's not there anymore.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the Dolphins running back committee is the most interesting to me because Achane is a guy who is getting a lot of tabs of being like a top 10 running back in fantasy this year because he can't. I mean, he literally couldn't score from anywhere. But they love Jalen Wright. Jalen Wright is a player that a lot of teams were pretty high on, and the Dolphins kind of snuck in there and sniped him because he's like Achane. He has world-class speed. He's somebody that's going to fit their offense perfectly. So I'm really nervous about the Dolphins running back committee just because they are so loaded. I don't know which one to be a part of.
Where they're going to go. And then all of a sudden they just give it jet sweep to Tyreek Hill and he takes it in himself. So it's like one of those things that I'm like, what do I do with this? So I wanted to throw in the fine print on this segment for tread lightly. I'm not saying to avoid completely. Oh, Mason told me just to completely avoid these off. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying just don't draft high. I want you to try to have like a soul, and you can look them up. Go to 2023 most carries, and you'll find a whole list of, and it will make sense. You'll be like, oh, these offenses like to run the ball and only to him. He gets 80% of the touches or whatever. So look them up. Have some run heavy running back ones that are legitimate running back ones first before you go to the committees. So then you're going to have to. There's no other choice. You're going to have, or you're just not going to have any running backs. So go to the committees next. But like when we were giving out the advice, I was like saying Josh Jacobs is the number one. Go with him, obviously, over like a AJ Dillon. The rankings are going to show it for itself. I'm just saying you can see where there's going to be some that are higher ranked than others, but don't avoid completely. Just tread lightly with these running back committees. And that concludes my segment of Mason's Fantasy Land.
Yes, sir. Back.
All right.
Mason. Told you that name was going to stick.
Stuck. Okay, guys, we got a draft bracket to do.
I feel like it's going to get a little spicy too.
We got a meat bracket.
Yeah. Bracket time.
It's time to bracket up some meat.
Okay, so here's how it's going to work. If you've not been with us through one of these yet, we are going to go matchup by matchup through this bracket. We have seeded various meats 1 through 16, and this will go as a traditional bracket style. So we will just pick in between them who we feel is the favorite. Best 2 out of 3 wins, as there are 3 of us. And we are going, by the end of this episode, we will be selecting the official meat of the pod.
I'm so ready.
Yep.
Okay. So let's start here pretty easy. We have a 1-16 matchup. 1 seed is steak. Now, we could have pretty easily split steak into multiple categories. I think there's obviously different cuts of steak, so don't add us. We know this. We only had 16 options, so we had to go with the most kind of broad categories. So we just did steak as a whole. 1 seed. 16 seed, we have pepperoni. Pepperoni, it's a great thing. Let's talk a little. Mason, how do you feel about these two?
So here's the thing. Are we doing it by itself or can it be added to anything?
I mean, you can't take pizza.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, I would like to say if it's like by itself, but so pepperoni pizza is like elite, right?
Yeah, but
what makes it elite?
It's the meat.
I know, but I'm just saying pepperoni does make the pizza so much better. No, I'm spitballing here. You wanted me to talk about it.
No, that's good. That's good.
I'm going to say this was a 20-point loss if this was a basketball game.
Wow. Ooh. I mean, it's a 1-16 matchup, so.
Yeah.
Pepperoni is a great
not the
pizza topping. an elite pizza topping. If we ever do a pizza topping draft or a pizza topping bracket, it could be up there.
It's probably 1-1.
Probably. But
that's not what we're doing today.
This is all about the meats of it all. And as far as I'm concerned, steak goes through the second round. Tins, do you agree?
That's easy sweep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Next, we have our 8-9 matchup. Traditionally, one of the closer ones. We have bacon and the 8 seed versus.
Feels low.
We had some contention on this one, so I kind of included both. Hot dogs / brats. I know those are different things. I know hot dogs and brats are not the same, but for our purposes today, we're calling a hot dog shaped item that's being grilled on a grill typically. This is a tough one. This is really tough for me.
I had hot dogs for dinner.
I mean, it's tricky.
I don't want to see the bacon get bounced. It's once again I'm using the word elite breakfast and good on a burger. But yes, go ahead, Tins.
I think it comes down to this for me. I'll go ahead and throw my vote out there. Is can it stand alone? Can you have this thing by itself? Can it just truly be its own thing, or is it better as a side piece? Is it better as a sidekick? Is it a Robin to somebody's Batman? If we get bacon going down the line here and it gets to a hamburger, which part, is the bacon propping up the hamburger, or is the hamburger the star of the show?
That's a good question.
So I think I'm going to go with the hot dog / brat here because I feel like a bacon is just a side character.
I will say with the hot dog, though, if you have hamburgers and hot dogs, how many people are just going for just the hot dogs?
Well, there's some places around that hot dogs are very popular. Obviously,
yes.
You have baseball games / like football games, hot dogs. You have the Costco Costco, Sam's Club, big hot dog Sam's energy Club there.
There's different variations of hot dogs you can do.
Right, there's like gourmet hot dogs, like with chili dogs, things like that. There's a lot of ways you can go with it.
Bacon is bacon. And even though it is great,
it's just bacon.
It's just bacon.
This is a tough matchup.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Not a very good matchup.
No, I wish these two hadn't seen each other in the first round. I feel like they both deserve to be in the second round.
Yeah, I agree. But I think we're going with hot dog is what I feel here. From the class. Okay.
Let's do it.
Hot dog.
Clean sweep.
Moving on. Next. This is an interesting one. We have a hamburger versus grilled chicken. Chicken.
Should we not spend much time on this one?
Okay, let me make the argument because I've eaten a lot of grilled chicken in the past couple of weeks.
Yep.
Okay.
If you're looking for a healthy meal, grilled chicken is elite, like undeniably the most bang for your buck protein per ounce, per dollar, per everything. Mm-hmm. You can cook up grilled chicken, and it is what it is. No one's saying grilled chicken is the greatest thing on earth. No one's ever going to claim that. But if you're talking about nutritionally, it truly maybe is like superfood.
Put some seasoning on there in a rice bowl. You got health.
It's healthy.
Got some. Yeah.
Does it taste good? Not always. Not usually. But
I do have a bomb like crock pot recipe where you season that sucker up and you let it cook while you're at work, and you come home, take the 2 forks and you shred it.
Well, that's shredded chicken.
Argument that's not grilled chicken anymore.
For it to be grilled chicken, you got to grill it. It's got to be on a grill with a couple marks. Mason, where are you going here?
I bet you Zach's not talking about taking his chicken and putting it on the grill for health wise. He's probably just putting it in that pan. On my
Blackstone. I put
I just been doing like
10 chickens every week, and we
should
eat them for lunch every day.
I don't have that Blackstone. I gotta get one for next summer. No, I literally put it in the pan on the stovetop. I'm definitely going hamburger here. I'll talk more about hamburger when we go down to the next line. Oh, what's the face?
That's awfully brave of you to assume the hamburger's going through right here.
Or what is happening right now? I also
I'm
said
sorry.
Let's not spend time on this.
I'm sorry. I'm a grilled chicken guy. Hamburgers are cool, but I can do so much more with grilled chicken. There's so many more different things. You can do tacos. You can grill it up and season it for tacos. You can grill it up and put barbecue sauce on it and make it a barbecue grilled chicken sandwich. Chicken is more versatile. Yeah, a hamburger needs everything on top of it. A hamburger at the end of the day is more times than not bad. Average at best.
Wow. Zach, don't give that face. You're literally
hamburgers need a lot of help. Ketchup, mustard, lettuce, bacon, cheese. And then you got to count on the guy making it to cook it right.
Facts.
How many hockey puck hamburgers have you eaten in your day?
A lot.
Come on, man. Come on. Chicken is juicy. You can throw any kind of sauce on it that you want. I'm going grilled chicken.
You just said it's better stand alone, and then you talked about all the seasonings.
I can eat a piece of grilled chicken by itself.
Okay, look,
Zach, help me out.
I have had a lot of really dry burgers, but I've had even twice as many super dry grilled chicken pieces that were
well, who is cooking them? Are you talking about when you're cooking them, or
yes? Maybe blame the. Look, I'm taking hamburger here. What are we talking about?
Yes, let's go.
I thought he already took grilled chicken.
No, I didn't. I agree with all of your arguments, Tins. I think there is a world where grilled chicken is maybe for a lot of other people that would be there. And it is. I do enjoy it, but I've eaten a lot of hamburgers in my life.
Yep.
Sure. I have always just been more of a chicken guy.
I hear you. I like the chicken.
It was a nice effort. I could have, if it was a good argument paired against something else, it could have gone further, but sorry, it just had to meet the hamburger.
That's okay. That's all right.
Okay, next up, we have 5-seed brisket, 12-seed turkey. We did not specify whether this was lunch meat turkey or
Thanksgiving turkey or
it's I guess either. We don't have a lot of lunch meat on this draft, so
yeah
or bracket, but I don't know if it would have won any of the matchups.
So when it comes to like the holiday turkey, we've talked about this before during holidays. You don't like Thanksgiving, Christmas. You don't like go get a big turkey and like make it just because you're like, oh, that sounds great. It's literally like something for the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how it's going to hold up against brisket, especially if we're doing lunch meat. Does that even help its case? Really, I don't think
it's the sandwich. I think the only argument for turkey is like you go to Subway and put it on a sandwich.
Yeah, but brisket, man,
and brisket's more of a specialty item.
It is.
And it's harder to do well, I would say.
It's the hardest thing in barbecue.
But
Tinsley would know.
I'm taking brisket.
Done, if you get a good brisket, it's good stuff. I'm now craving a brisket. I haven't made one in a minute.
Okay. Sounds pretty good. Okay, brisket it is.
Might want to have one at the draft.
We have our other holiday meat here. Maybe it's a sacrificial lamb. We have a 2-seed chicken wings versus 15-seed ham.
It would have been hilarious if you would have said lamb because you said sacrificial lamb, and then for some reason lamb ended up on the
ham. Put anything in there you want.
Lamb's good too. Lamb chops.
Lamb is good. It's pretty specialty as well.
Yeah,
I've had it maybe a handful of times. Chicken wings. Fire.
What else is there to say about a chicken wing, man? It's going to go far.
It is. Chicken wings, we can wait to talk about it till later. It's moving on.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Yep.
Next, 7-seed ribs. 10-seed roast.
Is this the one that we actually forgot on the list was ribs somehow? And I was like, what?
Yeah,
how did we forget
we
that?
moved it up at one point.
I was part of that. Yes. Go ahead.
I didn't know where you guys would fall on ribs. I've just recently started being a big fan of ribs once I got the smoker and I started doing them at home. I've just never really believed in the bang for your buck at a restaurant for ribs.
Yeah.
Very expensive for not a whole lot of meat.
Yeah, because I can get a rack of baby back ribs for like $9 and eat all of them, or I can go to a barbecue restaurant and pay like $14 for 4 ribs.
Chili's really good ribs, by the way.
Or you can get about 8 chicken breasts from Kroger and them all up and have a week's worth of.
There you go. It's true.
not on this bracket anymore. Chicken's gone.
Okay. So I'm gonna roast is like one of those that is like my family made it, comfort food type of thing. You have it with some mashed potatoes, have it with some rice. Throw like I don't know if your family ever did like throw the carrots or the celery or any of that stuff in, but
like a pot roast.
Yeah, pot roast.
Mm-hmm. Do the Mississippi pot roast with the peppers.
What pepperoncinis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, does that give me heartburn, but I love it.
Megan makes a pot roast usually in the fall, so it's coming up in the crock pot. Throw a bunch of the stuff in there and just let it simmer, and you can eat on it for a couple days. Usually, it's good.
Yeah, so this one's tough. I did lean more the rib side, but it could be a coin flip almost for me. Do you guys want to vote and then?
I think I'm taking ribs.
Yeah,
that's where I was going.
But roast is good. Roast is like the chicken. Wish it would have went on, but it just not a good matchup.
Ribs are fun. Get the barbecue sauce all over them. Make a mess all over your face.
You can do the dry rub. You can do with the sauce on it.
They're fun. They're fun to cook. Like if you have, I don't know. I've enjoyed doing the ribs because whenever I unwrap them and then I can just pull the bone out, I'm like, all right, cool. I know what I'm doing.
They're done. Off the bone.
That's right.
There you go. All right, so you're making brisket and ribs for us. Awesome.
No,
he's shaking his head no.
Probably just another item on this list.
Maybe one day.
Okay.
All right.
Speaking of, next 3 seed versus 14 seed. 3 seed pulled pork. Barbecue classic. 14 seed. We have sausage. We didn't classify what kind of. I think we were meaning more of the like breakfast sausage. I think Italian sausage works as well, like sausage you would put on a pizza. I was kind of lumping that in.
Not like your brat, because we already did that. Yeah.
Yeah, but we were thinking breakfast sausage as well. So
back to the bacon.
That's where the standalone are gone. Yeah.
Yeah. Tough break. This is like a 25-point blowout.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Pulled pork is like the grilled chicken of barbecue. That was a bad example. It's got a lot of. It's like a utility barbecue. It's pretty easy. I think it's a lot easier than something like brisket.
It is the easiest thing in barbecue.
Yeah.
All the videos I watch, they say you have to really try and screw up a pulled pork.
But it's usually good. It's easy to make for a lot of people. It's great at weddings or whatever. It's pulled pork sandwich is usually good. It's hard to mess up. Get some sauce on there.
Yeah, pretty cost efficient. You kind of set it and forget it on the smoker. So yeah.
Can I tell the story about how I tried to do pulled pork? By the way, this would be just real quick.
Yeah, it's a complete disaster.
Pulled pork, Boston butt, however you want to do it. I did Boston butt. They actually had a sale, and I went and got one, and I cut it up, did it in the crock pot. Actually, surprisingly, did really well. I found a recipe where you like cook it on the stove top to trap in all the flavors. Put it in the crock pot, cooked it, whatever. It did. I don't have a smoker. Okay, he's laughing at me, but it did well. Okay, so here's the thing. Then I went back to Food Line and got 2 more. Well, then we didn't need them because we already had plans, whatever. So I froze it because it was getting close to the expiration date. So then what did we do? We took one out of the freezer. I stuck it in the sink for the whole day on hot and put some water in there. And I cut that bag open. And the smell still like burns in my memory. It was like the worst smell ever. So then we take it out to the trash. We didn't take the trash for a couple days. Want to talk about Maggot City? and the flies and the nastiness and how bad it smelled. Horrible. So then I was like, okay, I won't do that. I looked up how to thaw another one because I had one other one. So it said put it in the fridge for 3 days because it needs to be a slow, not a fast, so I put it in the fridge for 3 days. Cut that sucker open. Still smelled horrible. I was like, I'm never buying Boston Butt again. I saw a lady that bought 20 of those because they were on sale. And I was like, there's no way she's eating those. So she froze them. And here I am over here. I was like, oh, this was a great idea. I can have something to freeze, eat for it. Because it was like a 10-pound. Like this thing was huge. And there's just 2 of us. So I was like, oh, I could cut this sucker in half, put it back in, freeze it. And both times it's just been a hindrance because I've been like, oh, got to take the trash now, literally tomorrow, because that thing's going to stink up our whole house. What a disaster. That's my story. Yes, Tens.
I was just saying, don't. When meat's on sale like that, you can't, unless you're going to store it long term and then immediately cook it when it's unfrozen. Don't buy it because it's on sale because it's about to expire.
Yep. The first one turned out really well. I know Tense was laughing during mine. It actually turned out well. But there you go.
Sure.
I don't have a smoker. Okay, Zach, go ahead. Continue.
Okay.
Here
we have the last matchup of the first round. 6 seed fried chicken. 11 seed pork chops.
We've had some of the best fried chicken, like my family. Oh man. Yep, go ahead, Tens.
Yeah, I mean, I like pork chops. I make them at least once a week on the grill, but
easy and cheap.
Fried chicken holds a place in my heart that is clogging an artery as we speak, quite literally. So yeah, it's fried chicken for me.
Same.
Yep. All right, perfect.
Well, of all the talk of upsets, they were almost chalk through the first round. So bacon was the only upset, 8-9. Okay, so it means the second round is going to be electric. Are you ready?
Right. Let's do it.
Okay, second round. Round 2. Starting back at the top. Steak versus hot dog / brat.
I don't know how you not.
Yeah.
I don't know how you not go steak.
Has a deeper bag, I think. It's more uses, it's more versatile, but steak is the high end. I mean, there's lots of different steaks as well. You could cut up steak to put on a taco. You could, you have sirloin. You have your fancy steaks. And there's lots of different steaks you could go with. So I do think it's, Mason, do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. Next, we have hamburger versus brisket.
This one could get really nervous about this one.
This one could get contentious.
I was hyping up hamburger earlier. But I feel like Tinsley was making some points about how if we're talking about standalone, I just imagine a patty on a plate with nothing. Where a brisket on a plate, I'd eat that. But the patty, I don't know what we're doing here. If we're doing I was trying to put pepperoni on a pizza earlier. And I feel like we're just judging the meat by itself.
Pepperoni pizza is different than hamburger. Hamburger, the meat is the main.
I know, but are we counting the bun, the lettuce, the tomato, the sauces? That's what we're
account for the fact that its most frequent form is in the hamburger.
Yes, but I just feel like I'm leaning towards.
You don't just have to
brisket.
Eat the meat just on a plate. Brisket could be a sandwich, or it could be whatever.
But people usually do. This is Zach's flu game, by the way.
Sorry, guys.
No, you're shooting at game winner. No, I just feel like you gotta. I feel like I would prefer brisket if someone looked at me at a cookout and was like, "You want a brisket sandwich or brisket or hamburger?" And then I was kind of thinking of how more versatile. Yeah, hamburger's just kind of there. I don't know. Now I'm flipping back and forth here. I'm going brisket.
I'm going hamburger. I like that I can go out to my Blackstone and just grill up a hamburger real fast, throw it on a burger. I don't have to smoke it for 100 hours and do the whole whatever. I like that it's readily available. I can run across the street to McDonald's and grab me a hamburger if I want one. I can go to Red Robin or Chili's, get a nice, good hamburger, decent, and eat it, and it's going to be good, usually. Brisket is a little more specialty, like we've said, but I think hamburger for versatility, that's what I'm picking.
Yeah, I'm going brisket, just because I'm not the big. I'm just never been the biggest hamburger cheeseburger guy, and brisket has always been my favorite barbecue item when done right. Now, brisket is just like a hamburger. When it's done bad, a bad brisket is really bad. But I've had more good briskets than bad briskets, so I'm gonna go there.
There you go.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, we've got a couple of electric matchups down here at the bottom of this bracket. Next up, we've got 2-seed chicken wings versus 7-seed ribs.
Man,
ribs.
This is the best matchup so far, in my opinion. Oh, this is close. This is going down to the wire. Yes, go ahead.
For a couple of reasons. One, we've mentioned that ribs are pretty inaccessible a lot of times. Hard to make, hard to do right, hard to even get your hands on. I mean, you can go to some like barbecue restaurants and get them, but pretty expensive. Now, chicken wings are also pretty expensive if you buy them from a restaurant. But the ability to flavor them differently with different sauces, I think, makes a big difference. Chicken wings I think they also have a lot of versatility where you can fry them, you can like grill them. There's a lot of different ways you could do the chicken wing thing. I'm going chicken wings, and it's not that close for me. But
Mason, are you going ribs?
The possibilities are endless with wings. He talked about how you can get them anywhere. We've done wing competitions during New Year's. I'm just huge on wings during like football season, everything. I got to go wings.
Yeah, it's wings for me.
Okay. Good deal.
Okay, this last one's going to be fun. I think this may be the matchup of the second round. 3-seed pulled pork versus 6-seed fried chicken. Pulled pork versus fried chicken. Yeah, this is the tough one. This is from here on out. I think every matchup is going to be tricky.
What were the bracketologists doing to us right here?
Man.
I mean, this whole second round had some. It was pretty much all bangers. There wasn't a lot of pretty easy. I mean, ribs was. Yeah, this one's tough. Pulled pork, fried chicken. These are both staples in our area, part of the country. Fried chicken, obviously, a big piece of Southern cuisine. But pulled pork is just as much, honestly. I mean, it's with our area, and especially with like Memphis, and pulled pork is big. So I think both of these are big where we are. It's a tough one. Tough. Both are kind of like comfort food. Adjacent, at least. Same category. Both are neither. There's not like one that's just like more elite versus a more pedestrian type of food. They're both right there in the same category. So it's tough.
I'm going to make the decision here and go slight edge on fried chicken.
This might be one of the hardest decisions I've had to make.
Making it hard on tens. I'm doing pulled pork
in my life.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go pulled pork. I think I do enjoy fried chicken. The health factor is not great on the fried chicken. I think, and it's also pretty tough to make at home. I don't think a lot of people are making fried chicken like in your fryer home.
Nope.
So I'm going pulled pork.
Yeah, I mean, this is hard. This is because I love both of these things a lot, and I love making both of these things. I have recipes for both of them.
Oh, fried chicken guy.
Yeah, you got to season your breading. You got to season your flour. We're not out here. We're not basic. Put some cayenne and some paprika in that sucker. In the flour, garlic powder. Season it. Make it taste good. Sorry.
Yes, chef.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Dang, I really hate you guys right now. I wish someone would have y'all would have just said it and I didn't have to make a decision. We're gonna go fried chicken.
Wow. Okay.
Also, I love how part of Zach's decision making is the health, but then he'll turn around and pick something.
I can't do it. It's pulled pork.
You're changing because of what I said about Zach?
No. It's just I said it and I immediately said that was wrong in my head. It's pulled pork.
Dang.
It's pulled pork.
We could have had the cow versus chicken matchups in the Final Four. It's all right. Okay, pulled pork. All right.
So many things you can do with it.
Our Final Four is kind of banging right here. So we've got 2 matchups here in the next round. 1 seed steak versus 5 seed brisket. And then we have 2 seed chicken wings versus 3 seed pulled pork. We only got bangers from here on out.
It's pretty good, actually.
Okay. Bangers only.
Okay. Steak versus brisket. These are both higher end meats. These are not your pedestrian run-of-the-mill lunch meats here. We have steak, brisket.
Yep, I was trying to draft the combo platter from Texas Roadhouse with the steak in it.
On both of these.
Yeah. I'm just... Also, how do we like our steak? Because I know we're running over time. Mooing, have the cow mooing. I'm gonna go steak here. I don't know if I'm trying to just think if someone came to me and was like, "Which one would you rather have?" I would just be like, "Can I get a steak?" So
all
good.
Respect to brisket, I'm also going steak. There's going to be variations. I think the ability to upscale it is great, but also you could throw like a sirloin on the grill, and it's great at home too. I mean, I think you can do both. So for that reason, it's a steak. Okay.
There you go.
This is the matchup right here, folks. We've got chicken wings versus pulled pork. That's tough. These are like the working man's.
Nobody's.
Down here.
I gotta go wings. I've just eaten so many more than pulled pork. Like the amount of wings to ratio to pulled pork, it's not even funny.
Not even.
You've all been around for that. Just how many we've all eaten together of wings. I gotta go wings. Flavors, all the different flavors, ranch, blue cheese. What do you want with? It's got to be wings.
It's got to be.
It's electric.
Thank you.
Tins.
Yeah, I mean this does fall in the category of fried chicken still technically, because you can have fried chicken wings.
Sure,
you have grilled chicken wings.
Fried chicken lives on.
Right, there's still a little piece of it in my heart is the wings are still here. So I am going to go with wings just because of the same thing. I love all the different kind of sauces. I love it. Trying a new sauce I've never heard of before. So and I feel like with pulled pork, there's really only there are different versions. There's different styles depending on there's Kansas City style, Memphis style, Texas style. Essentially, those are just different kinds of sauces. The meat is essentially the same each time. So
right,
we're gonna go chicken wings here.
I would have gone there as well. Okay.
This is it.
1-2 seeds. We're shocked.
So
1 seed steak, 2 seed chicken wings.
Man,
best of the best right here, folks.
Yep. I've been answering every single time first, so I'm gonna give it over to somebody else.
Okay,
I already have my mind made up.
I'll go first.
Yep.
In my life, I've been criticized for going quantity over quality. And we're doing it.
Who would ever say that?
Chicken wings, I think for the variation potential. I think for you don't really want to sit down for a football game and be eating a steak, really. Steak's a little bit more buttoned up. It's a little bit more of a fancy affair Chicken wings are like get your hands dirty, get down and dirty in it. I mean, we didn't talk about the boneless wing option yet, but it's there. Sauce is ranch. It's chicken wings for me.
Is this gonna be a clean sweep?
That's where I was gonna go.
I was also going wings. It's the official. It wasn't a 1 seed. It took down the 1 seed. Let's go. I don't know how many different sauces. A steak is a steak. You can change the seasoning, but it's just a steak with different seasoning.
We're the working class.
Thousands of different. Yeah, that's right.
Get our hands dirty,
I feel happy with it. Literally.
Love it.
I feel happy with the decision.
I ate some wings today for lunch.
There you go. From where?
In prep for this. It was in Chattanooga. We were on a little work. AKA, I didn't have to pay for them either. I got to eat them.
There you go.
Pretty sick.
All right. So, I'll wrap us up here. Thank you guys for listening to this episode. We hope that you guys enjoyed it. Enjoy football over the weekend. And don't forget to check us out on TikTok and all of our socials. Start following us on those if you haven't already. And we will catch you on Monday. Have a great one.